So my experience with the generator, the WEN, I forget the numbers, generator. Yeah, so far it's been great. The only issue I've had, sometimes it acts a little weird when you try to start it, like it doesn't want to start up all the time with the button. It'll flash, which according to it has something to do with the sensor, but I find if I just play with it for a minute, it eventually comes on. It's not the end of the world. Plus, there's always the pull string if that ever stops working. The button never stops. But yeah, so far I haven't had any issues. Now that being said, I haven't ran it on any gasoline because I just haven't had the need to. I went through a couple of tanks of propane. It's hard to say how many hours I've gotten out of it, and the highest I've ever ran it has only actually been about 50%, because typically I'm only using it to like run a shop vac and some lights, or run I use it to run like a sump pump to pump out, you know, flooded ditches and stuff. I don't really use it with a circular saw or nothing like that, because I have battery operated saws. So yeah, I haven't put much more than about 50% load on it. So, and that's again with the propane, not with gasoline. So it actually makes me wonder. I don't know if like if you put gas in and it's running off the gas, if it will change, like, you know, now it's not at 50%, now it's at, you know, it's still 25 to 30% or something. I don't know if it can tell, or if it's just 50%, or if I'm using 50% of that 4,000, because I know the propane is less watts. But yeah, no, the only issues I've had was the button sometimes, and I don't think it's the button. I think it's it might be how I shut it down, because how I shut it down is I take the I just turn the propane off, and that's how I shut it off. I don't mess with the fuel shut off and the engine shut off, so that might have something to do with it. I just turn the tank, you know, I just close down the tank, and then it burns up basically what's in the line. At least that's my thought process. I don't know how much of it actually comes out of the line, but yeah, that's how I do it. The something I'd like to mod on it, I guess, is I want to put bigger tires on it, because I find myself using it outdoors more than I use it indoors. And I'm not very often on like a nice smooth concrete slab or asphalt. You know, I'm usually in like a dirt, muck, rock, you know, places where you don't have electric. So yeah, I'd like to put bigger tires on it. I may get some go to Harbor Freight or something and get, you know, just some bigger tires that will, and it'll set up higher, so obviously I'll have to do something with the legs on it, because it has those little it has 4 little legs that are actually slightly higher than the wheel, and then the wheel doesn't engage until you actually lift it up a certain amount. So I'll have to figure something else with it. Something else out with it. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. What I may do is get locking wheels, and then that'll solve that problem, and I can have it up as high as I want. and obviously I'll have to level it, so I'll have to do something anyway in the front. I may put wheels on the front too, I don't know. If I do that, I'll, you know, make a little video showing that, I suppose, but I may never do it. It's something I want to do, but I'm also lazy, and I got about 30 other things I'm trying to do, so different little projects, and then obviously real life stuff. So yeah, that's about it on that. But yeah, right now there's about, actually in the coming days, there's supposed to be a lot of snow coming in this area, so I don't plan to need this generator for, you know, to live off of, but you know, it is nice to have. It's nice to know that, hey, I can plug this thing in on my porch and then have an extension cord or something running from the dog door, or hell, I could even drill a little hole somewhere and patch it when it's not needed. And then, you know, I could run my kitchen basically off of it for sure. I did some math a long time ago, and I believe I could, like, well, not that it's the summer at this point, but I could run like a window unit, AC. I could run, one more thing. It was like a window unit, some lights, which lights don't really count for nothing, especially LED ones, but window unit, lights, and then what was it? Like, I think like my computer, some appliances, I forget what all I had added up, but I can run quite a bit with what I got. So if it comes down to it, I'm not gonna have to worry about, oh, I gotta break out the you know, if I still want to cook something in the oven or use the microwave, I can still do that. So I'm glad that I got it. I doubt I'm gonna have any issues where I'm at. The power never really goes out. Knock on wood, I guess. I don't got no wood to knock on. But yeah, I definitely recommend it so far. I've had it for several months now, or a few months now, and I've used it quite a bit. So I do plan to use it with gasoline at some point, but I mean, I just like the idea of being able to carry the propane separate from the you know, the fuel source separate from the actual thing, because then it makes it's still fairly heavy, but it makes it lighter to where if you just put the however many, I think it may only hold like 2 gallons of gas, I have no idea, but you put the gas in there, it's, you know, going to make it a little bit heavier, and then it's going to be sloshing around, and then you got to, when you're pouring it, I mean, I'm sloppy, so I'll end up, you know, spilling it on it, and then it's going to smell like gas, and, you know, to where theoretically I could have the propane in the house if I really wanted to. I'm not gonna, but if I wanted to, I could put the propane in the house or something, and it can store indefinitely. I don't gotta worry about, oh, it's gonna gum up if I don't use it for 6 months or something. So I definitely prefer the propane. I just wish that propane produced the same amount of energy as the gasoline, but you know, that's physics and chemistry, and you know, that's you can only get so much of a combustion out of the propane, so it is what it is. But yeah, it makes it a little bit lighter. You do gotta deal with the hose and the extra space, but it's just way easier, in my opinion, to have the propane in one hand and then the generator in the other, and then carrying that, versus just dealing with gas. And then, yeah. So I guess I'm done rambling. I gotta go in here to this farm and home store and get some stuff for some electrical I'm in the middle of doing. I just figured I'd do this little review of it. yeah. Oh, I have not used the 30 amp breaker for anything, but I mean, I imagine it's gonna be fine. If I wanted to hook up a one of those welders to it, or well, I don't know. I guess a welder might push it. I don't know. I'd have to. I'm not sure, but if I wanted to hook like an like a big AC to it, I could, or whatever you need that big 30 amp for. I don't intend. I don't foresee any issues with it. So yeah. Yeah, the only mods I'd say for it is bigger wheels for off-road stuff. But I feel like that's the case with almost everything I ever buy. I got a rigid toolbox, the rigid 2.0 stackable, whatever. And I changed those wheels out to big old tires, and it makes it a little wider, so I can't get it into doorways as easy. But it can roll right over some rocks, mud, and dirt. Going downstairs is way easier now because it absorbs the shock with the rubber tires. So I'll probably end up doing that to the generator as well. But yeah, I'm done rambling. If you stayed this long, thank you. And yeah, I don't know, leave a like, subscribe if you want to. I know there ain't much on the channel yet, but I do plan to do more. I got a little thermal camera I'm planning to do a video on. I just haven't had, now that once I got it, I haven't had a real good reason to use it. So I'd like to actually test my stuff instead of just playing with it. But for that one, it's actually right here. It didn't come in this case, but yeah, I'll do a video on it. It hooks to your phone. It's pretty nifty. But alright, that's all. See ya.